Well, we also have new developments in the search for truth about Benghazi. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is today saying he will meet with with House Republican leaders, and he will ask them to subpoena the survivors of last year's attack that killed 4 Americans in Benghazi, including our ambassador to Libya. He is asking the House to do it because the Republican majority has the power to subpoena. Senate Republicans do not, of course. The Democrats control the Senate. Some lawmakers say the Obama administration has blocked them from speaking to the survivors, including Senator Graham, who says that they're actively trying to stop that discussion from happening, and claims that the White House has something to hide. We'll continue to follow it. Meantime, there is a buzz in Washington over reports that America's former top diplomat may have been hacked. A hacker who calls himself, we believe it's a man, Guccifer, is now claimed to have breached the email of a former Clinton White House aide, someone who was corresponding with Hillary Clinton, and may be circulating stolen memos that he obtained that were sent to our former Secretary of State, Mrs. Clinton. The same hacker is believed to have cracked an email account that belongs to a Bush family member, as well as former Secretary of State Colin Powell's Facebook page, and now he has his eyes set on our former Secretary of State, apparently. Stirewalt is our Fox News digital politics editor and a host of Power Play on FoxNews.com Live. This Guccifer appears to have hacked, and it's not the good kind of Gucci. This is the bad kind.
No. This is the bad Gucci.
He managed to hack the account, we're told, the AOL account of Sidney Blumenthal, who's a 64-year-old person who's very connected to the Clintons, and apparently obtained some memos, about 4 memos, between Blumenthal and Mrs. Clinton in the days immediately after September 11th, 2012, when she was being informed about what happened in Benghazi. This poses an interesting question for the media, because the memos, the hacked memos contain correspondence about a subject that is newsworthy, that has been covered by most organizations, some more than others, but most organizations, and yet when obtained by a hacker, illegally, what do the media do with such correspondence?
Salivate is what they do. The rules, the basic rules of journalism would say something ill-gotten, especially if this is the irony, if it's consequential, if people are less likely to use it. The Bush emails that included self-portraits by the former president and sensitive family descriptions of his father's condition when he was in the hospital. Those things made it out pretty quickly. This, being consequential, ironically, hasn't made it out into establishment press outlets. It's not out there now because it could be a matter of real significance. It's not just teasing the Bush family. It is about something that there are, as you were just talking about, a lot of unanswered questions as it relates to that Benghazi attack. So what establishment press outlets, what journalists who strive to be responsible are doing is waiting, watching to see if it gets out, because they would sure love to have this stuff.
So I'm being told in my ear that it's actually Guccifer, but I prefer the Italian pronunciation of. I'm
going with you. I'm
Guccifer.
Absolutely Guccifer.
Yeah, we get a Guccifer. That's what I'm going with. See how respectful we are of you, Guccifer? Please don't hack us.
Please don't.
But here, this is one of those situations, Chris, where people are wondering: is there a smoking gun in these emails? So far, not really. But they're wondering, are there more? And for media who love to find out, behind-the-scenes correspondence and the real story, from politicians who don't often tell us everything, this proves a strong temptation. And yet, what a dangerous precedent if we start running around using the fruits of these ill-gotten gains.
Exactly. That was the phrase that came to mind for me, too. So the question is this. At what point, the Bush family eventually, once it had gone everywhere, and once it was all over the Internet, the Bush family eventually obliged and said, yes, this is real. They never specifically confirmed the contents, but they let everybody know that, yeah, this is probably the real thing. The pressure now grows on the State Department and on the House of Clinton to similarly respond, to say yes, because it may not be the, as you said, smoking gun, but it certainly, if these emails were true, if this was the real thing, would go to the Secretary's state of mind and what she really thought in this back and forth with one of the most trusted advisors to her family's political operation, what she was thinking about at the time that this was going down. That could be very significant as to testing the credibility of the administration's claims about Benghazi.
You know, on another front, this is, okay, so most of these accounts that the hacker goes after are AOL email accounts, I'm told. But it does beg the question of whether correspondence should be taking place offline and in a way that, you know, is compromised. We talked about this during the General Petraeus controversy when he was having the affair and he was, you know, emailing with this person and, you know, through an account that's not secure. And now we know why he was doing that. But it compromises our officials if not only they are not on a secure line, but if the person they're corresponding with is not on a secure line. And, you know, here it's something where they were sort of back and forth about Benghazi. But what if there were something, you know, that present day was a matter of life and death?
Well, the growing understanding as the hacking movement gets bigger and bigger and faster, and WikiLeaks was sort of the breakthrough moment, but now it's picking up speed, is that nothing is really secret. If you write it in an email, unless it's in a Department of Defense encrypted email, nothing is really secure. But these cutout accounts that public officials here in Washington have gotten in trouble for using before, that their friends use when they correspond with them. There's a lot of people who, as Guccifer or Guccifer or whomever is out there doing this stuff, there are a lot of people who are, their collars may be feeling a little tighter today for what they have floating around out there in cyberspace.
Guccifer. I think it's better. I think we should go with it.
I like it. I think it's cooler sounding.
Thanks, Chris.